Hi. Okay, I just wanted to do a quick video on, I wanted to talk about reading tarot if you suffer from anxiety. I don't know, for those who don't know, anxiety, well, it's pretty self-explanatory, but people that have anxiety disorder, they generally have the protective part of their brain, the brain that protects them and detects danger, is very highly developed. So they know that they're very aware of things that would be dangerous to them or would cause them ill health or abandonment or rejection or death or anything like that. And sometimes for someone who suffers from anxiety, the world can be a bit of a scary place. So tarot, because it's used as a tool for predicting the future or showing you what's going to happen on your day, or in your day is a better word, it can cause a little bit of anxiety. Now, for those that want to use tarot as a tool to help themselves, they've got to be careful if they suffer from anxiety that the tarot doesn't become something that causes more anxiety, or they get so put off by it that they don't want to use it anymore, or it gets them into an anxious thought pattern. It can actually affect their whole day. It can actually cause confirmation bias, where if they pick a bad card for the day, they start seeing that happening and they almost make it happen. I don't know about fully make it happen, but they start to see all the negativity in their day from that tarot card that they picked that morning. So I've made a little list of a few things that can help those who suffer from anxiety to work with the tarot in a more gentler, compassionate way. I've actually just been listening to a message on self-compassion, and I think that's very important, even if you don't suffer from anxiety, to be gentle with yourself and to be mindful of your thoughts and how you think about yourself, and make sure you're not overly critical. Okay, so number one, if you pick a bad card, for example, okay, we all know, if you know anything about tarot, like my worst card is the Tower card. I really don't like it, because it talks about sudden, swift change that's going to radically affect your life, and I don't like that idea, because I've had a Tower moment in my life. I've had a couple that have really affected me. And then there's other cards like the Three of Swords, which could mean heartbreak, or grief or sorrow or pain. Then there's the Ten of Swords, which is like everything's come against you, or the Death card, which doesn't mean physical death. I know some people say it does, but as a person who suffers from anxiety, I choose not to look at the Death card in that way. Yeah, there's the Death card, there's quite a few negative ones, or ones that could, like the Five of Swords or the Five of Pentacles. Anyway, if you pick a bad card when you're doing a reading for yourself, or even if you're doing a reading for someone else, instead of just looking at this card and thinking, oh no, now my life is just going down the drain, now this terrible thing is going to happen to me, and then your mind starts to go crazy, and you're thinking of all these worst case scenarios, and then you can't get it out your mind, and it's all you can think about all day, and then you start to see it, you start to expect it. Instead of doing that, ask the tarot, ask spirit or your deity or whatever you believe in, the angels or whatever, ask all your spirit guides, what can I do? You've told me that I must watch out for this, or you're giving me a warning of this or something. You're highlighting this message. What can I do about it? How can I improve my day, or how can I improve my situation? And pick a card or two to give you advice on that. And I found that's really helped me. So when I pick a difficult card, maybe it's a warning that I'm going to face a challenge that day. So I want to know, how do I handle it? And then I pick another card or two to give me advice. Okay, number 2. Find the positive meanings of the difficult cards and focus on that. So, for example, the Death card, it means transformation. It means you're letting go of something that no longer serves you, and you opening yourself up to a new experience, and maybe it means enlightenment or awakening. And for example, the Tower card could mean the pulling down of something that shouldn't be in your life, a belief or a thought that's been holding you back, and now you're knocking it to the ground. Or maybe the Three of Swords. I like to think the Three of Swords actually isn't a card about emotion. It's a swords card, which is thoughts. So there's 3 swords, and the 3 is like, it's a development. It's reached a certain stage. So your thoughts have reached like this negative stage, and maybe it's telling you to let go of those things that are holding you back from your in your past. Okay, number 3. Read the card intuitively. Find the specific meaning, specific message for you. So look at the art, look at the details in the card, and try and see maybe it's giving you a message that's totally different to the standard meaning of that tarot card. Ask spirit, ask your angels, ask your goddess or whatever, what message am I supposed to get out of this card for today? Don't always see it in that set way. 5 of Pentacles, oh no, I'm going into a financial chaos and crisis. Don't see it that way. Try and find something in the card. Maybe it's telling you that you look feeling sorry for yourself and you should ask for help. Maybe it's got nothing to do with finances. But look at the picture in your specific deck and see what it's trying to tell you. Okay, number 4. Step back and see it as not happening to you. Oh, my cat is being naughty because she doesn't know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to YouTube. Step back and see it as not happening to you. So take an almost like an objective view and look at the card as, this is hard to explain, but the most recent deck I bought was the Forest of Enchantment Tarot, and that the deck is just amazing. And what it does is it shows a story of the creatures in the forest, and each card is that the person in the card or the people featured in the card or the elves or whatever animals. It highlights a specific story or thing that they're going through in that card, and it helps you to take a more objective view of the card and not see it as, this is me, this is about my life, but just see it from an objective point of view, and then maybe you can get a message out of that. Okay, number 5. See it from a psychological point of view as a chance to go inward instead of a divination point of view, like this is going to happen in my future. So rather see it as there's a psychological message that you can learn from the card. There's a few decks out there that concentrate on that. There's one, it's called the Wisdom. Oh gosh, I've been looking at reviews on it. Anyway, I can't remember the name, and he goes into the psychological meaning of the cards. I'm quite keen on getting that deck. Okay, so for example, let me try and think of an example. Okay, the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is a card of victory or recognition. So maybe you can look at the card from a self-love point of view. Maybe I need to look at what I've achieved so far today or this week or this month and reward myself and say to myself, wow, you've done a great job, and appreciate yourself and what you've achieved. And so that's a good example. Well, I hope it's a good example. And then number 6, see the tarot as something friendly and supportive to help and advise you, not to harm you. See it that there's always a message in the card to help you. So I think sometimes you actually have to choose to watch your mindset, to make sure you see the tarot as a helpful, positive thing in your life instead of a negative bringing down, or I don't know. See them as that best friend that wants to give you help with, or even better than a best friend. See it as your spirit guide that wants to show you how to live your life. That there's a message in every card to show you how to live and become a stronger person, become a happier person, become more fulfilled, to fulfill your destiny. But also, don't feel that every single card that you pull has to have such a profound message. Sometimes I pull a card for the day and I look at it at the end of the day and I think, oh well, I've got absolutely no clue what it meant, and I'm puzzling over it, and it doesn't matter. Maybe I didn't have to have a card for that day, or maybe I was just too busy to really get anything out of it. Okay, number 7. Pick a card or two at the end of your day instead of at the beginning to see what you accomplished or learned, or the energy of the day. So it doesn't become predictive. Instead, it's like a review of your day, and then you can look at the card. And I've done that a few times, and it's actually been quite interesting to see what comes up. Number 8, if you get a reading from someone, know that nothing is set in stone, and you have the power to change things. So if someone gives you a reading, and they pick up the 3 of Swords, and they say your relationship is on the brink, and you're going to have, it doesn't look good, and something bad's going to happen in your relationship. So, like, oh no, what? And like, you love this person, and you've been married for like 15 years or whatever, and you got kids, or I don't know. Just know that that's the energy that you were at when you had the reading. But you have the power to change things. And especially if you practice magic, you can do things to affect it. Or even mundane things. You can go for counseling, or you can try and save your marriage in some way. Okay. Number 9. You have the power to decide how you want to see the tarot. You can choose not to see it as a predictive tool. Now, this is a hard one because a lot of the little white books or the guidebooks for the tarot cards come with predictive messages. So it's a little bit hard not to see it that way, but you can choose to pull away from that and to see it in your own way. But if you want to see it in a predictive way, then you can. I don't know what she's doing. Lena, look at the card after the card that you pulled, not in the shuffle deck, but think of what the next card is in the sequence of the tarot. So, for example, after the Tower is the Star. So even though everything has crumbled to the ground, and or something that had a strong foundation in your life, so you thought, has just crumbled, but the Star comes next, and that's a card of hope. And there's always light after the dark, and I don't think we can ever totally be free of anxiety when we read the tarot. But I hope that the tips that I've given you will help you to see the tarot in a more positive light and to work with it in a gentler way, to work with it in a self-loving way. Thank you so much for listening to my video, and have a good evening or day, or whatever time it is for you.